expand your vocabulary with our Core 2,000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Hebrew ebook before it's gone.
שלום, אני יאנה. Welcome to HebrewPod101.com's Aleph Bet בקלי קלות. The fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn the Hebrew alphabet, the Aleph Bet. In the last lesson, we learned the letters Zayin and Chet. In this lesson, we will continue with the next two letters and learn another nikud. Are you ready? בואו נתחיל. The ninth letter of the Aleph Bet is Tet. It has the sound of T. Let's write it. The handwriting of Tet is... This letter is a little unusual, in that you need to start from the bottom up. And in print, Tet. If you round the corners of the print version, it will be just like the handwriting one. Tov is good in Hebrew, in the masculine form. T, O, V. Tov. And in print, Tov. In the feminine, you write Tova. And in print, Tova. Now, let's move on to the 10th letter, Yod, which has a Y sound. It is probably the simplest letter. Yod, just like a little comma on the upper right side of the frame. And in print version, Yod, almost the same, just with a little angle. Yad is hand in Hebrew. Yad. And in print, Yad. Now we've completed 10 letters of the Aleph Bet. You're almost halfway through. Can you believe it? Before finishing up, let's take a look at another nikud. Shva. Shva has no sound. It is a silent vowel. It just keeps the original sound of the consonant. Like in Ach. Ach is a brother. Ach. And in print version, Ach. We will see more examples of Shva in the next lessons. We are ready to move beyond words and write a phrase. Ach Tov is good brother in Hebrew. The noun comes first and then the adjective. And in print, Ach Tov. Nice job. Soon you'll be able to write whole sentences. Now it's time for Yana's insights. Before starting the next lesson, try to write all the letters from Aleph to Yod several times in a row, while loudly pronouncing each letter. In the next lesson, we will learn the 11th letter, Kaf, and after that review half the Aleph Bet. How many can you remember? See you in the next lesson. להתראות! שלום, אני יאנה. Welcome to HebrewPod101.com's Aleph Bet בקלי קלות. the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn the Hebrew alphabet, the Aleph Bet. In the last lesson, we learned the 6th Hebrew letter, Vav, and 3 new Nikud. Do you remember how to write David and uncle? What about electric water heater? In this lesson, we will learn 2 new Hebrew letters. So let's move on with the 7th letter, Zayin. The sound is Z. Let's write it in handwriting first. Does it look familiar? You might be reminded of the 3rd letter, Gimel, in handwriting. Yes, you are right. They are the mirror images of each other. But don't get confused between them. Gimel faces this way. Zayin faces this way. Okay, how about the print version? Fortunately, this one will be hard to confuse with the print version of Gimel. Even though they are pretty different in print, make sure you don't write Zayin and Vav in too similar a way. Let's see the difference. Vav, Zayin. Zvuv is a fly in Hebrew. Zvuv. And in print, Zvuv. You can easily remember this word since the fly makes this sound. Zvz. Let's move on. If you write Zayin with a comma on the left side, it will sound like zh, as in the word journal or collage. First you write Zayin and then add the comma on the upper left side. In print, usually the letter J is used for foreign words like jaquette, a jacket, journal, a journal, and so forth. Now we move on to the 8th letter, Chet. This has the sound of Ch, and it is written like this. For the handwriting, keep the corners round. And in print, Chet. Almost the same, right? Always the print version will have sharper corners than the handwriting version. Ach is a brother in Hebrew. Ach. The pronunciation is important. Try to pronounce it more glottally from your throat. Chava is a farm. Chava. Here the handwriting and the print versions are almost the same. Let's write them. Chava. In print, Chava. Now it's time for Yana's insights. When writing Hebrew Aleph Bet, always start from the top, both in hand and print writing. In this lesson we studied 2 new Hebrew letters, Zayin and Chet, with a variation of J. Did you know that you have already mastered a third of the complete Hebrew Aleph Bet and the Nikud system? Good job! But how do you write good in Hebrew? In the next lesson we will learn this and 2 new letters plus 1 Nikud. See you then, להתראות!
If you're learning a language, the words and phrases that will come easiest to you will always be the ones you're interested in. Whether it's words with bad or funny meanings, or phrases about yourself, such as where you're from or how old you are. So what if you could make your own printable vocabulary worksheets so you could review and practice writing out the words that you're interested in? How to create your own printable vocabulary worksheets. Well, stick around. In today's guide, you'll discover 1. How to assemble your own word and phrase lists, 2. How to create your own printable worksheets, and much more. But first, if you don't yet have access to our language learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. While you're learning the language, you should keep in mind what exactly you want from this language. Do you want to talk about yourself, your hobbies, or understand TV or music? Why? Because you'll naturally learn faster if you're learning about what you're interested in. So, here's how you can assemble your own personal vocab lists. 1. As you go through our lessons on the pathway, you'll likely come across words and phrases you want to remember. You could write them down, or you can send them to the word bank, which is a premium feature where you can store words and phrases for later review. So look for the Add to Word Bank button on the lesson page. 2. You can also save words and phrases from our free vocabulary list to the word bank as well. You can sort through hundreds of vocabulary lists by topics such as weather, hobbies, talking about your day, and more. So you can find words that you're interested in. And then click on Add All to Word Bank. Here's how you can make your own worksheets. Just go to the vocabulary menu and select Word Bank. There, you'll see your collection of words and phrases. Just click on Printer-Friendly Version to print them out. You can also click Export Word Bank. If you've organized and labeled your words into categories such as verbs and adjectives, you can select that label and export it as a PDF. Then, go ahead and print the file out. You can use this worksheet to review the words or even write on it. So, if you just want ready-made printable worksheets and cheat sheets, then you can always unlock our free conversation and vocabulary PDF cheat sheets and PDF writing worksheets. These resources are free for members of our language learning system. So, if you want to learn the language and get access to these learning tools and our learning system, sign up for a free lifetime account right now. Just click the link in the description to get your free lifetime account. Remember, here's what you can do to learn all of these words by heart. Drill these words with our spaced repetition flashcards, which will help cement these words into your long-term memory. Save them to the word bank, your personal vocabulary collection, where you can print out your own study sheets, or review the words with our looped vocabulary slideshow, and play it until you know all of the words. So click the link in the description right now, and sign up for your free lifetime account to get these lessons and study tools.
שלום, אני אנה. Welcome to HebrewPod101.com's א' ב' בקלי קלות. The fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn the Hebrew alphabet, the Aleph Bet. In the last lesson, we learned to write the most important word in Hebrew, ahava, the word for love. Do you remember the nikud for ahava? If you're not feeling confident about it, review the last lesson before continuing on from here. In this lesson, we will learn one new Hebrew letter and 3 more nikud. Are you ready? So let's start. בואו נתחיל. The 6th letter is Vav. The sound of Vav is V or O or U, and it's written like this. That's it. Vav has only one stroke from top to the bottom. The print version is the same for Vav, with only a small difference. In Hebrew, Vav is not only the name of the character, it's also a word by itself. It means a hook. Doesn't Vav look like a hook? You can write this word like this. It's just the letter Vav 2 times. If you want to add nikud, it will look like this. Now we move on to the next nikud symbol, chirik, with a sound I, like in C. It's just 1 dot under the letter, I. Now you can write a very common name, one that belongs to the second and perhaps most famous king of the ancient kingdom of Israel, David. It's written with 2 dalet and 1 vav. The nikud here is important, otherwise it can have different pronunciation and meaning. Let's write this word. David. And now in print. David. The next nikud for this lesson is shuruk, with a sound U. This is how you make Vav sound like U. For example, if we take the same letters from David and instead of chirik we add shuruk, it will be dud, electric water heater. Perhaps now you can appreciate the power of learning the nikud when you're first studying Hebrew. Let's write this word. Dud. And now in print. Dud. Notice how shuruk goes to the left of the vav. Seem complicated? Don't worry, we will review them all at the end of this lesson. But not before we will learn the last nikud for today. Cholam maleh, with a sound of O. This is how you make vav sound like O. Let's write this. D, O, D. Dod. And now in print. Dod. Notice that cholam maleh appears above the vav. Now, shuruk and cholam maleh are only written with the letter vav and not with any other letter. Chirik, however, will appear below other letters. Now let's see all the last three examples together and make sense of them. First, we had David, Dud, and Dod. Now let's have a short quiz. I'll show you the nikud symbol next to a letter and you have to pronounce its sound. Ready? A, U, I, O, A. Now it's time for Yana's insights. Since you will not see any nikud in modern readings in Israel, you will have to guess by the context of the sentence which pronunciation and meaning it has. It all comes with the experience of studying Hebrew vocabulary. Another tip is when writing the letter Vav, it is important to keep the length of the stroke inside the frame. Otherwise, it becomes a different letter. But that's for later. So in this lesson, we studied the letter Vav and three nikud in Hebrew: chirik, shuruk, and cholam maleh. In the next lesson, we will learn two more Hebrew letters, Zayin and Chet. See you then. Bye. Shalom, אני יאנה. Welcome to HebrewPod101.com's Aleph Bet Bekalei Kalut, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn the Hebrew alphabet, the Aleph Bet. In the last lesson, we learned the third and fourth Hebrew letters, Gimel and Dalet. Do you remember how to write fish? And what about roof? In this lesson, we will learn how to write the word falav in Hebrew. Are you ready? So let's start. בואו נתחיל. The fifth Hebrew letter is Hey. Hey sound is Ha, but it can also sound like A. You will see how it changes in a second. Let's first write it in handwriting. Hey. The print version is very similar. Hey. Make sure to keep Hey curved while handwriting, but use sharp angles in print. So, as I mentioned, Hey can sound like both Ha and A. The word Ahava uses it in both ways. When Hey appears in the end of the word, it will always sound as A. Ahava is love in Hebrew. Let's try to write it down. A, pronounced Ha. Remember the sound here is V, so we don't need a dot of bet. Pronounce A. Let's do it once more in handwriting. Ahava. Ahava. Isn't it a beautiful word with a beautiful curved shape? Now let's do it in print. A, ha, va. So if you want to add the full nikud for this word, we need to use a new nikud symbol, patach. Just like kamatz from last lesson, patach has the sound of a. Now remember, when you write in modern Hebrew, you don't need to use the nikud system. It is there mostly for you to read, especially when learning new vocabulary, or if you want to study the Hebrew Bible. Now let's spell ahava with the full nikud. Ahava. A-ha-va. Ahava. Here's the print version. Here you saw how the letter hey can sound in two different ways. So you already know 5 Hebrew letters and several words. Don't forget to practice the characters in both handwriting and print. Now it's time for Yana's insights. Doesn't hey from this lesson sound like hey in English? When you say hello to your friends? That's exactly the sound for the Hebrew letter hey. Now you can think of the letter hey when saying hello to your friends and memorize it better. In the next lesson, we will see how one word can be pronounced in 3 different ways in Hebrew. It may sound confusing, but remember, you'll have the nikud to help you. See you next time. Lehitraot!
Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Hebrew ebook before it's gone.